So you want to invest in storage, but you can't find anything that's close to you because storage facilities are commercial real estate and they're much larger. There's not a lot of them like single family homes where there's plenty of options probably where you live. Storage, if you live in a rural area, you may only have a few options. And if you live in a big city, those are probably out of your price range. Proximity doesn't necessarily mean the deal is safer, although we perceive it that way. I would much rather have a good deal that was further away than a bad deal that was closer, but it made me feel better. There's a few ways that you can invest out of state in self-storage. You can DIY it, I mean, you're going to do it all yourself, which we will talk about and how you do that. The second thing is you can work with partners like third-party property management companies and others that will run and take care of everything for the asset for you. Or you can even invest with people like me, where you invest with us and you have ownership in a property together. We do that. So there's different ways that you can invest out of state depending on your comfort level, what you're trying to build, and what you're trying to accomplish. So, what do you need to know before investing in self-storage out of state? When we got started investing, we didn't have any that were in the city that we lived in. All ours were small towns far away. I'm talking like 9-hour drive far away. This was much more difficult back then because we were very limited on options. If you're investing out of state with self-storage, there's a few things that we need to go through and you need to ask yourself before making the decision. The first and most important is, are you going to manage it? If you are self-managing it, it's very different than if you have a property manager that's going to take care of everything for you. Because if you're self-managing, you have to set it up right so you can self-manage from where you live and not have to be there every single day. That is the question. When I got started, we didn't have an option. There was no third-party self-storage management companies. We had no options. We had to do it ourselves. And we set up remote management. We did an automation video. So check out the link below and you can go right to it, and it's an in-depth video on self-storage automation. Let's start out with the pros and cons. The vast majority of people live in very concentrated areas in the United States. Texas, California, New York, Florida, in major cities and major metropolitan areas. These densely populated areas attract major investment companies, and the assets that are in those areas are priced very high and almost always institutionalized. That forces beginning investors out. That forces them away from the institutional capital, and it forces them down market into smaller assets. That's how it was when we got started. The pros in out-of-state investing. First of all, you increase your exposure to possible deals you can buy. You also increase your exposure to possible markets that you can go into. There's just more opportunity for you to look at. The cons, though, are you don't know, meaning that you're not intimately involved like you are in your local market. That is more than a feeling, it is a reality, meaning there is danger in what you don't know. And we are forced to go out because the deals are where the deals are. There's not a ton of storage facilities. There's 60,000 across the United States. That's nothing compared to other assets like homes. So looking at that, I need a good market, right? And I need an opportunity to buy, where the best opportunity is to buy a facility and where the market is good, because you can see it, you can measure it, and you can say, no, I don't want to be in that market because I don't think there's high demand. And you may say, this is actually a better opportunity for a facility my size in a good market over here. Now, you may not be able to pick it, but you do get to scan and see. It means you have to set it up right. If I know that I can't be there every single day working, I have to actually set up the operations correctly. I have to have trusted people that are in place that will execute. I need to be able to get the information. So you need to set it up more like an actual business, and that can be a pro. The con, obviously, is that you just can't jump over there. So you will be limited in your interactions and ability to execute when it's dependent on you. To get over that con and actually turn it into a pro, build your team out that are experts in that area so that they can take care of everything. This will also help you scale. Having good partners makes up for some of the risks in what you don't know. Very, very important. Working within a broad range of partners, such as brokers, title companies, property management companies that will actually do a full workup on the asset and tell you what they think, help you underwrite it. You also need to utilize feasibility studies, which look very in-depth at the market and the asset. Those are studies that you can then provide to banks, partners, and your property management company. We provide those. You can follow the link below. It helps you whittle down the con of not knowing intimately that market, because you're increasing your knowledge, and it's not solely dependent on you. It's on other people that can see things maybe you can't. That will bring you confidence when investing. We limit risk by increasing our knowledge to evaluate the risk so we can manage it. So I'm not dismissing whatsoever that. In fact, I limited where we were looking to buy facilities within a certain geographic area in which I understood. Now that area was large. It was the Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. It was a very large area, and I only included the internal part of it. We didn't go to the coast of Oregon and Washington because I didn't understand those markets. All of those markets that were internal on the freeway, these were smaller markets. These were markets that I was used to because I grew up in markets like that. None of them were big. There wasn't lots of competition, so there was good deals to buy. So it was limited to things that I understood, but it was still a very large geographic boundary. That's what I suggest. You want to merge the knowledge of your markets, which will bring safety and comfort, obviously, and you want to increase the amount of deals and opportunities you have. Now, you have the opportunity to buy, meaning there's something for sale, you have a good market with good upside, and you have a property management company that can execute. When you limit your geography to something you're comfortable with, you may not get the best. And you're going to force things. Instead of choosing what's best, you're going to say, I'm going to take what's best in this area. Long distance management. This is a big deal. Whether you're choosing a third-party property management company or you're going to do it yourself is going to really dictate a lot. It's going to dictate how you have things set up and what you need to be prepared for when you go into it. Most people would say, I'm just going to use a third-party management company. They cost a lot of money. You also may not have very good third-party management companies that are available to you depending on the market. If you want to do it yourself, you need to now figure out how you're going to manage this while not being able to show up anytime. At the end of the day, when you're dealing with smaller storage facilities, there's less that can go wrong. And with today's technology and resources that you can utilize, you can really whittle down all the things that could go wrong. It's one of the best things about storage. So there's a lot of things going for you in this industry to do long distance management. Let's break down what needs to be done. First of all, we have two distinct categories. You have on-site and off-site, meaning there are some things that you cannot get rid of. It has to be done at the property. There is no such thing as a manless storage facility. It doesn't exist. It's just something we like to say. But at the end of the day, someone has to be on site to do work. The things that they need to do are, you have to check the units, meaning lock check, and check your system to make sure that the right people are renting. And the next thing you need to do is you need to clean out units when people move, get them ready for a resale. You need to hold auctions. You got to do actual work on the property. You have weeds, you have maintenance, you have all of that kind of stuff. Could have a system that you set up, and I'll tell you how, to rent whether somebody is there or not. You still have to have someone on site that is going to do the work that needs to be done for the property management. When they want to rent a storage unit, they go online. This is great for remote management. I have a website, I have a phone number, I have an email, all set up to do all the customer service from their cell phone. And a lot of it we just automate with our property management system. You allow them to rent online, they rent and pay. You automate an email out to that customer, which gives them a gate code, tells them which unit they're in. You have a renter. Now, when that person leaves, you do need to go sweep out the unit. You need to go clean it, get it ready for the next renter, and then put it online. So you can actually contract out with a local person. We did it with real estate agents. We also contracted out with snowplow movers. So the off season, they would go down, clean out a unit, we'd pay them for cleaning out a unit and getting it ready. So it was very simple tasks that needed to be done. Now the customer's taken care of, the property's taken care of, and you're not doing any of it. So automating that kind of stuff is fairly easy. The back end stuff, when we do, customer service, you have your call center. You have your actual records, reports, that is done by your property management system. Then you have, of course, your legal and accounting. You need to process the actual lease, which can also be done, once again, on the property management system. So you have your legal, accounting, all of that done in the back end, just like you would if the asset was located in your town. So from there, you can manage the parties, meaning the landscapers, you can manage the person that's going on site to take care of units. You can ask them to do lock checks, confirm what's happening on the ground is happening behind the scenes, and you're getting reports to it. You can make sure tenants are paying their bills. You can lock them out if they don't. It is actually very doable to operate and run a storage facility, even if it's 10 states away. This is one of the best parts about investing in self-storage. Hands down, out of all the assets, I think it is the easiest to operate and run and own out of state. To invest in out of state, you have to understand if you're buying that asset, if it's a good investment, and if that market is a good market. Now, to understand that, you can check out this video right here, which is analyzing self-storage markets, which will teach you exactly how to look at a market to make sure you understand if you should be investing in that market or staying away.